Good evening, Council. This is the regular monthly meeting of the Municipality of the County of Colchester, October 30, 2025, and I'm calling this meeting to order. I'm asking our CAO for roll call, please.
Thank you very much. So we will start with the chair, Mayor Blair.
Present.
Councillor Weatherby.
Present.
Councillor Sanderson. Councillor Richardson.
Present.
Councillor Cooper.
Present.
Councillor Johnson.
Present.
Councillor Leggett.
Present.
Councillor Martell.
Present.
Councillor Patton and Councillor Benoit have sent their regrets. Councillor Fletcher. Councillor Kennedy.
Present.
I'm sure you have quorum.
Thank you. In peace and friendship and in the spirit of truth and reconciliation, I acknowledge that we live in Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq. You have a copy of the agenda before you, Council. And are there any additions or deletions to that agenda? Mr. CAO, please.
Thank you very much. So just for item 3, we have minutes for September 25th and October 7th, but we also have October 23rd there. Looking to add item 10B, which is well water assistance. Councilor Cooper has brought that forward. And then in camera, we have item 16B, which is negotiations.
Thank you. Any questions on any of those, Council? And I'm prepared to entertain a motion that the agenda be approved as amended. Moved by Councillor Weatherby, seconded by Councillor Cooper. Discussion on the motion?
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded nay. Motion is carried. The agenda for October 30, 2025 has been approved as amended. The next item on the agenda is approval of minutes from meetings held on September 25, October 7, and October 23. I'm prepared to entertain a motion with regards to those minutes. Moved by Councillor Kennedy. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Johnson. That the minutes be approved as presented. Discussion on the motion?
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded nay. The motion is carried. The minutes of September 25, October 7, and October 23 are approved as presented. Is there any business arising from those minutes? Hearing none, we'll go on to our standing committee reports and recommendations. Deputy Mayor Sanderson, please.
Thank you, Mayor Blair. This is the report of the Council Committee meeting held on October 16th of 25. Operating costs, flow monitoring stations, Joint Flood Advisory Committee. I move that Council approves the funding of a river flow station at a cost of $17,250 per year for 3 years.
Seconded by Councillor Weatherby. Discussion on the motion?
Question.
We're just going to do, okay, you're open for voting, Council?
There you go. Put it on the screen and press this thing there.
Voting is closed. And the motion is carried unanimously. Deputy Mayor, please.
Okay. Debert Source Water Protection Advisory Committee terms of reference. I move that Council approves the proposed amendments to the Debert Source Water Protection Advisory Committee as presented, and a copy of the terms of reference are attached.
And do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Kennedy. The screen has just locked on us, so we'll, all those in favor, first of all, is there any discussion on the motion?
Question.
Question has been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded nay. Motion is carried. And Deputy Mayor, please.
Negotiations, residential curbside collection contract extension. I move that Council approves opting in for the 1-year extension option of the residential solid waste recycling, and organics curbside collection contract.
And do I have a seconder for the motion? Seconded by Councillor Cooper. Discussion on the motion. Seeing none, the question has been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, nay. The motion is carried. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. The next item is the Debert Source Water Protection Committee minutes of September 23, 2025. These are there for your information. This mainly is with regards to the terms of reference. I'm prepared to entertain a motion that this be accepted for information by Councillor Kennedy, Councillor Weatherby, seconded by Councillor Kennedy. And any discussion on the motion? Any questions on this?
That was the question.
Question has been called. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, nay. The motion is carried. The next item is the Tatamagouche Source Water Protection Committee minutes of October 8, 2025. And again, this has been given to you for information. Any discussion? I'm prepared to move that for information, moved by Deputy Mayor Sanderson. Do I need to have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Johnson. Any discussion on the motion? Question's been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, nay. The motion is carried. And then last is the Flood Advisory Committee minutes of October 14, 2025. And I'm prepared to entertain a motion that those be accepted for information. Moved by Councillor Johnson. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Weatherby. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, are you ready for the question?
Question.
Question's been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, nay. The motion is carried. Next is we'll move into our action items. And the first action item is the 2025 Art Selection Committee representatives. And Craig, please.
Good evening, Council, Madam Chair. You have an action item in front of you for the Art Selection Committee. We're looking for 2 members from Council to sit on this committee. This is an annual event, and we have a bunch of submissions that we have been receiving over the last couple months. The event is going to be on November 12th, and that would be the opening, and the event goes from the 3rd to the 28th, and from 1:30 till 3 we have our judging, and that's when we have our committee get together for that. So I will be looking for council for a couple representatives for that. Just a little update. We have 50 selections that have been submitted, which is the highest in my 18 years that I've been here, as well as 20 different artists. So I think we have a great selection. So the 2 representatives will have lots of choices. So I'll open it up to the floor for a couple of representatives.
Thank you very much, Craig. Do I have any nominations or any suggestions or any volunteers who would be willing to work on the art selection for this year? It's pretty significant to have that number and that number of artists. So anyone who is interested in this? Deputy Mayor.
I've done it before, and for anybody that's new that would like to try it out, it's a lot of fun. It's really eye-opening to see the talent that we have in this municipality. So if nobody else puts their name forward, I would be willing to volunteer again.
Thank you, Deputy. Anyone else interested? Councillor Weatherby? Wonderful. Anyone else? Seeing no hands, then I'm prepared to entertain a motion that council appoints Deputy Mayor Sanderson and Councillor Weatherby to serve on the Art Selection Committee for the 2025 Art Purchase Program. Someone prepared to put that motion on the floor? Moved by Councillor Cooper, seconded by Councillor Kennedy. Discussion on the motion? Question has been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And contrary-minded, nay. The motion is carried. Thank you. Thank you both for volunteering. You'll enjoy this very much. The next item on the agenda is youth attendees under 17 World Hockey Challenge, which is coming to the rec tomorrow until the 8th of November. Another wonderful event for our community. Craig, would you address this, please?
Sure, Council and Madam Chair. This is on table, I believe. What it is to provide council with some information regarding some options to assist youth attendance in the upcoming under 17. The event does start with exhibition games starting tomorrow and going right up until the final on November 8th. If you recall, October 16th, council committee met and by motion staff were directed to explore some options. We've reviewed some ticket prices and they range from $17.50 all the way up to $35 for the final game. And there is some packages of 4. We have been in contact with the ticket, the people at the rec, and there are some deals that we can get some packages and they can give us about 15% off some of those tickets as well. So we looked at various options to distribute the tickets to the event. And in order for youth to attend, they might need to be accompanied by an adult. So we're certainly looking at that. Certainly there is some families out there that can afford it. We've seen some events in the past where tickets are just given randomly and oftentimes the parents don't go and the kids don't go because the parents would have to pay. So we're pushing to that to try and support the youth as well as the families. We're looking to reach out to the minor hockey associations within the county, West Colchester, North, South, as well as having parents and chaperones. We're looking at contacting Big Brothers Big Sisters, Boys and Girls Clubs, and certainly through the schools. We are in a little bit of a time crunch, and we're looking at probably even Tuesday, even though I said in the action item about Wednesday, but Wednesday there isn't any game. So we're looking at possibly Tuesday to the final game on Saturday. So there are some options there. We can certainly look at the money that would be coming from the grants budget. And I think council had considered up to $20,000 in the original motion. So we have a couple options. Could approve the amount of up to 20,000 supportive youth in the upcoming under 17, or another option due to the time constraints, council will opt to support providing or not support tickets for this event. Recreation staff are prepared to take the lead in this and try and fulfill the requirements as council's wishes. I will open it to the floor.
Thank you. And comments or a motion? Councillor Martel, please.
I would like to make the motion that council approve an amount up to $20,000 in support of youth attending the upcoming U17 World Hockey Challenge and direct staff to coordinate and just distribute the tickets.
Thank you. And do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Richardson. Discussion on the motion? Any questions? Any comments? Then are you ready for the question? Has been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay. The motion is carried. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the sewer service boundary extension North River, and I'm going to ask our Director of Public Works, Michelle, if you would address this, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The item before you this evening is seeking direction from council on a requested extension of the sewer service boundary. As council may recall, in March of 24, council did receive a request for a 10-acre extension of the sewer service boundary from exit 14A properties. And the area in question is off of Longview Drive and Dixon Court in North River. At the time, the developer and still does own a 60-acre parcel, which entirely was outside of the sewer boundary, and was asking for 10 acres to be added to the boundary to create 12 new lots zoned R1, R2. And at the time, council did approve the extension in 2024, and you'll see in your package the footprint of that previously approved extension. Exit 14A Properties has now approached council again with a request for a further extension of the boundary, again in the same area off of Longview Drive, looking to create 14 new lots with about 12 acres in total. And since council previously approved the last extension, The new countywide plan has zoned this area as R2. So we would be expecting to service 28 new units with this sewer boundary extension. Staff have reviewed sewer capacity and confirmed that there is capacity to accommodate the additional 14. And of course, even if council approves the boundary extension, the developer will still need to follow our procedures for tentative subdivision, submitting drawings for approval and that type of thing. Feedback from community development is that development should be focused within the existing sewer service boundary. Right now, there's enough land to service about 500 additional units within the existing boundary. However, I will note we don't have any other active or pending subdivision plans in the hopper from North River at this time. With regards to the entirety of this 60-acre parcel, staff are in support of approving the current request for a further extension for the 14 lots. But going forward, staff recommend that before any additional piecemeal extensions be considered, that the developer would submit a preliminary plan for the whole lot so that staff could review the proposed development in its entirety before approving any further lots. And so at this point, staff are recommending that the extension be approved. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, and I'm prepared to entertain a motion. Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll make a motion that council approves the request of exit 14A properties for a sewer boundary extension on North River to include the 14 additional lots off Longview Court.
Thank you, and a seconder. Seconded by Councillor Weatherby. Discussion on the motion. Deputy Mayor Sanderson.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just curious, it's zoned R2, does that? I know it means duplexes, but can the developer decide to just build a single unit? That's possible. So it could be up to 28 units, correct? So not necessarily 28. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. And that was, and Councillor Cooper,
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Blair. Do you to Michelle, please?
certainly.
So Michelle, the 500 additional units that could be built in the vacant lands, even with doing this, would be sewer capacity to do all those too, sort of thing? Where exactly are we at there?
Through the chair, I would suspect, no, we don't have capacity for 500 units. So staff are trying to drill down further into how much capacity exactly is left as a maximum. And once we find that number, we'll compare it to a preliminary submission for the whole lot. But I will say, I guess in short, to answer your question, no, we wouldn't have capacity for the existing 500 units in the boundary. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, got it. Thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, are you ready for the question? Question's been called. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. The motion is carried. Thank you, council. The next item on the agenda is J-Class Paving Candidates, 2026-27 submission. And I'm going to ask our Director of Public Works, Michelle, to address this, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As council will recall, earlier this month, staff presented some candidate roads for submission into the J-Class Paving program. As a reminder, this is a program where the province will contribute 50% funds for paving or repaving a J-Class subdivision road, with the municipality paying the remainder 50%. So staff had collected from all of council a list of requests for J-Class paving, carried out some field assessments, and had put forward 6 roads for council's consideration at committee in October. Council then made a motion for staff to bring back some cost estimates for the repaving of those 6 roads, which we've combined into 4 listings in our cost estimate. And as council will see here, we provided cost estimates for repaving of Ice Pond Drive, Basswood and Spruce Court, Island View and Basin View Court, and Clover Drive. And so the item before council this evening is to make a decision on which roads should be submitted for consideration into the program. Submissions are due tomorrow. I will note, there is an error in my item that I had noted council included 250,000 in the J-class road and the paving reserve for J-class roads. It was actually 500,000 last year, so a doubling of the amount. If council decides to put roads forward this year, they'll be reviewed by the province, and the province will look at their priorities and budget and select, it could be one or all the roads put forward for consideration. And when council debates its operating budget in March or April, then a decision will have to be made again on how much is being contributed to the paving reserve for J-class roads. But I will note last year it was 500,000 that was put forward. So happy to answer any questions, but the cost estimates are included there for council's consideration.
Thank you. And first, I would like to entertain a motion. Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll make a motion that council direct staff to submit all four as grouped, and I'll list them here from first to fourth. Would be Ice Pond Drive, Basswood and Spruce Court, which is clumped together as one street, Highland View and Basin View, which is clumped together as one, and then Clover Drive. And I'll finish it off here. For consideration under the J-class paving program for 26-27, and that the formal petition process is outlined in the municipality's local improvement bylaw be waived, and I'd like to speak on it when we're done. Thank you.
And do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Kennedy. Councillor Johnson.
So as Director of Public Works said, that there is, I checked with Scott, I guess the first of the week, and thought I made the motion back in April or May, whatever it was, that we do put $500,000 in there, and that's why I'm recommending we do them all. And I know last year there was only $2 million in the coffers for the province. They were hoping to get 10, and I don't know where it's going to be this year. I know they're looking for more, but what I'd hate to see if there's more funds available and we only submit one road. That's why I want to submit them all. You never know, they may come back and say, we're going to do, X number of dollars. So that would still leave us if they come back and said, we're going to do them all at $24,000 and change short, but we can debate that at the time and see if we want to find the extra money to pave all of them, if it comes back to that, or take a few off the list at that point. But that's the reason that I'm recommending all of them. We do have the money in our budget, and as Councilor Leggett said here last meeting, if we just continue on with one of these every year, we will never get them done on a 20 or 25-year rotation. So that's the purpose for what I said. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Cooper.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Blair. You to Michelle, please.
Yes.
So I just need a little clarity, Michelle. So street paving reserve does both the J-class and municipally owned roads, is that right?
Michelle, please.
Through the chair, yes, it does. In this case, there was 500,000 added to the reserve for J-class specifically, but there was also an additional contribution, I believe, of 150,000 just for our county roads. So still intending to keep those two separate.
Okay, that was gonna be my question, so it's kind of being kept separate there. I guess my other question would be, so we're putting in 150 for our roads, 500 for provincial roads. So how bad are our roads? If we were rating our roads we own, or these roads, are they comparable, like better, or do you have any idea, like where we stand with our roads?
Through the chairs,
Please,
I would
yes.
say as a general statement, our roads are in better condition. Many of them are also much newer than the provincial roads, which works to our benefit. But what staff will do is come budget time, if the contribution to the reserve for county-owned roads needs to increase based on our condition assessments, then we'll deal with that at budget time.
Yeah, no, I know council has decided they need to go ahead and fix J-class roads, but I can't imagine we'd be fixing J-class if ours are worse than J-class, so just, yeah, if you could do that, be great.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cooper. Councillor Leggett.
Thank you, Madam Chair, through to Michelle. This motion tonight would encapsulate the third year of the agreement, I guess, that we have with the province right now.
Yes, through the chair. So this would be year 3 of a 3-year agreement.
Yeah.
We do expect, unless the province changes its process in the coming months, to get another 3-year cost sharing agreement.
Okay.
And that will come to council for review.
And that's my question as to how we're moving forward to get that renewed or carry on with it. Okay, thank you. Look
Thank you,
forward to the
Councillor
answer.
Leggett. Any further questions on the motion? Comments? Then are you ready for the question? And the voting is up. The motion was up. How's technology working right now, Tracy? There we go. So it's open to vote. Motion is carried unanimously. And vote is, yeah, unanimous. Vote is unanimous. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the furnace replacement at 251 Lancaster Crescent, Debert. And I'll ask our Director of Public Works, Michelle, to address this one as well, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The item before you relates to the cost of replacing the furnace at 251 Lancaster Crescent in Debert. For those of you who are familiar with the area, this would have been the former Natural Resources Tree Breeding Center on Lancaster Crescent, which the county obtained in 2015, purchased from the province. Currently, this building serves as our water utility office, our recreation repair garage, and also the front end of the building is currently leased out to consulting. So the existing furnace in the building is circa 2005 and is reaching the end of its useful life. It is an oil-fired hot water furnace. And so staff are proposing to have the system replaced with a more up-to-date heat pump system. This would also be in keeping with council's carbon reduction goals as well. So we did, under the procurement policy, we're able to obtain 3 quotes for the nature of this work. And the 3 quotes are included in council's item for information, with the low bid being from Ecologic for $38,200. I will note that we will get some grants from Efficiency Nova Scotia for this. We're estimating about $5,000, but that will be determined once the system is installed. And so based on the quotes that we received and the need to proceed with the work, staff are recommending that the work be awarded to Ecologic for $38,200 plus tax.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm prepared to entertain a motion. Deputy Mayor Sanderson.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that council approve the award of the heating system replacement at 251 Lancaster Crescent to Ecologic for a total contract value of $38,200 plus taxes.
Thank you, and seconded by Councillor Fletcher. Discussion on the motion? Councillor Cooper.
Thank you, Mayor Blair.
Yes, certainly.
Just one question, Michelle. I know this is tendering everything you do, you know, extensive background checking on the companies to make sure they're okay. Do we do any checking on these companies? Yeah, do we know anything about this company?
Typically we would ask for rep projects. I can't quite answer that question because our building maintenance manager got the quotes, and so I'm not entirely sure, but certainly we would vet them to make sure that they will proceed with the work accordingly.
Yeah, I'm presuming, but if it's a brand new company or something, then yeah, a little more sure. Yeah. Okay, so you'll take care of that then.
Yes, we will.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any further questions? Then are you ready for the question? Question's been called. Motion is up and voting may begin. Okay, voting is closed and the vote is unanimous. Thank you. The next item is well water assistance, and Councillor Cooper, you were going to address this, please.
I don't know about anybody else, but I've been getting, you know, several calls lately.
The microphone, please.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't know about anybody else, but I've been getting several calls lately. People their wells have gone dry, either recently or some have been dry for the summer. So. And the requests have been information as to what the county could do to assist these people. And, you know, I've discussed with Dan and gone back and told the people that, you know, check with Rob and things like that. Told them about the spring and our plans to do a filling station, things like that. These people that are end up Cage River sort of thing, is a lot of them. So when I brought that back to them, I got, for every one of them, they all said this, not the same thing, but they said reasonably close, that there was other municipalities that were doing things like loan programs and things like that to help people do like drill wells and things like that. They were wondering if the county was considering anything like that. So I want to bring that here to council. I took it a little bit too late to Dan and stuff, so I know Tracy did a little bit of work on this, but not enough to really, you know, tell us too much. So I guess if I'd recommend to council that we refer us to staff to kind of check on this to see what other people are doing and could do to help people out. Because it is, like one woman said, she said, I'm bringing water from outside. That's done, she says. Done. You know, what should I do? You know, you tell her sort of thing. Mercy, Mother Nature sort of thing.
So is it your motion, are you putting the motion on the floor?
Yes, I think it
Asking staff to check into this, the feasibility of this, what other municipalities are
Yes,
doing?
just to see what.
And then, of course, council could make a decision and
Yeah,
so
that
on
we could
based
all
on
see
it.
what's
Is that your
happening.
motion?
Yeah, that'd be my motion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Deputy Mayor Sanderson. And do you have anything further to mention on that,
No, that's
Councillor
good.
Cooper?
Thank you, Mayor Blair.
Okay, then. Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I know when staff does do a study or do some checking, they'll find out the province does have a program already out there. And it's all sort of worked around household income. The reason I know that is because of family business, so they will find that out, probably bring that back to council with whatever they decide.
Appreciate that comment. Thank you. Any further discussion on the motion? Then are you ready for the question? Question's been called. All those in favor, you have your screen up and you may vote. And voting is closed and the motion is passed unanimously. Thank you. And thank you, Councillor Cooper.
Yeah, thank you.
The next item on the agenda is correspondence, and this is correspondence action items. The first item of correspondence is from Aaron Barclay, the project manager and communication specialist for Future Works. This is an email dated September 18, 2025, and she is looking for sponsorship for the second annual community animation event with regards to reconciliation. You have the document before you along with the Future Works brochure. And I'm prepared to open the floor for discussion on this issue, preferably have a motion and then discussion. Deputy Mayor Sanderson.
Thank you, Mayor. I would move that we opt for the silver sponsorship at $2,500 to help support this event.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Kennedy. Discussion on the motion? Councillor Cooper.
Thank you, Mayor Blair. Who'd asked this to, but what is this organization? Like, are they a nonprofit or what exactly are they? Does anybody know? Does Craig know?
I'll
Maybe
ask
we could-
our-
Right, yeah.
I'll ask our CAO to address this, please.
Thank you very much through the chair. So this came to us through Future Works. In this particular event, they have a keynote speaker who is specifically focusing on reconciliation as the overarching discussion with regards to the event. I don't have a whole lot more information other than that, other than Future Works was putting it on and that there was the ask if it would be considered in light of a lot of the efforts around reconciliation work.
We don't have a budget or anything, do we, or
We don't have a what?
budget or anything like? I know they're asking for a bunch of money, but I'm just wondering how much it's costing. Really. Do you have any figures given to us?
I don't see any budget attached. Certainly their sponsorship opportunities are clearly listed. Dan, please.
Through the chair, so that's, the information with regards to sponsorship opportunities range between $1,000 and $10,000. And like many events, when you're invited in with those sponsorship opportunities come so many tickets and whatever to go to the event. So it was brought forward in that capacity, and unfortunately, I don't at this moment have a detailed budget. We can certainly reach out to try and get some additional information to supply the council following whatever decision.
The event is taking place on November 6th.
Okay, yeah, no, it's just in a gray zone. Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Questions? Councillor Martell.
We've had a lot of discussions lately about having funding requests come in that have not had budgets. And for that reason, because it's not following what I perceive as the county's process, let alone that I know council can make up its own mind on that, I won't be supporting it.
Thank you, councillor. Further discussion? Then are you ready for the question? The motion is up. And now voting is open. And the vote is now closed. So the motion is defeated. The next item on the agenda is a request from Mr. Keith Driver as president and acting president of Brule Community Center. And you see his correspondence was dated October 7, and it's regarding an application for funding. This evening, you received further information along with his Brule Community Center budget and the proposed demolition of the old Brule schoolhouse, which has a hole in the roof and a few other things. And you'll see all of the information that he has provided to us. The request is per his information, the funding request was for $3,000. Yes, I have that. And I'm prepared to entertain a motion to put on the floor for discussion. Councillor Martell.
I would like to make a motion that we provide the $3,000 that is being requested with a budget quote and background information, or waive the tipping fees, which would cover the majority of that $3,000 cost for the disposal of the demolition material for the Brule Community Center Association.
And do I have a seconder for the motion? Councillor Fletcher. And discussion on the motion. We have Councillor Martell has provided options to give the $3,000 to the organization or to waive the tipping fees, which would be approximately the same. What are your wishes, council? Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I think their lowest possible cost would be to waive the tipping fees. It doesn't cost a whole lot more than handing out the $3,000, so I'd be certainly in favor of that.
So that's kind of a puts us in a little bit of an awkward position because we have an and or. So are you suggesting through the motion, Councillor Martell, that Mr. Driver be given the option? Or are you saying that we should have a definite position here, one
So-
way or the other?
Could I amend the motion that we
Yes.
would provide the $3,000 or waive the tipping fees in an equivalent amount?
Thank you. And does the seconder agree?
Yes.
Yes, Councillor Fletcher. All right then, so if the tipping fees are an equivalent amount or $3,000 that he can decide how he's going to deal with it himself. Your thoughts? Counselor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. So just clarify this. Are we saying we're just gonna waive the tipping fees? We're given an option for $3,000 here too. Because I would like to see us just waive the tipping fees and let them take everything to the landfill site, because is there other options they could take it other than to our landfill site? I'm sure there is. But I think if we give them options, they may be able to do that. But why don't we just say we'll waive tipping fees if this material comes to our landfill site, regardless if it's $2,500 or $3,500?
I'm going to ask our CAO to address this, please, but please bear in mind that when we have demolitions, anytime there's an appeal or any type of demolition that comes under the Municipal Government Act, the material is, it's suggested that the material go to an appropriate landfill site, and in our case, that's the Balefield site in Kemptown. CAO, please.
Thank you through the chair. So the motion as it stands right now is an and/or. So ultimately what will happen will be, Mr. Driver at that point would have kind of the choice up to a maximum of $3,000. So if the tipping fees were $2,500, he could take the 3,000. If the tipping fees were 3,100, then he'd take the 3,000 in tipping fees. So at the end of the day, either way, this is going to equal out to a $3,000 equivalent as it's stated right now.
Counselor Johnson.
And I understand that, but I'm saying our cheapest possible, lowest cost here would be waive tipping fees regardless of the amount. And not to take it, we've done that before with Dennis Tech on, but at the Gooch House, we always had a president that would take tipping fees and waiving that, so that's what I would like to see, regardless of the cost of tipping fees, whether it's $3,500 or $2,500, take them to our landfill site, we'll waive them.
Understood. Counselor Martell.
So in the motion that is on the table that will have to be voted on, you'll see in the package that he did provide a quote of $75,000 plus tax and a very detailed letter on the assets of the rural community center. So they have $4,000. That is what they have. They're asking for another $3,000, knowing that they have some little bit of money of $500 coming in that would be able to cover that shortfall, or they'll go around to their committee members and say, can we have a little bit of money to cover this bill? They're deeply concerned about the condition of the roof and the rains that are coming. And I had a conversation with Mr. Driver today about the condition of the building. And I asked him if you've known for a while, which is also disclosed in the 2011 statement of the building, that there was an issue. Why is it urgent now? And they are very concerned of the state of the building with the walls that are coming out, the roof condition, that if something were to happen, pieces of that building have the potential to come off and damage their very well-kept, well-used community center, which is right next to this building. So it is an urgent matter, and they have no other financial means other than what they have outlined and very clearly provided all of their expenses in a well-done budget. So I fully stand by the motion that is on the table.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Johnson.
Just as a follow-up, that's my last, is that I spoke to Keith Driver myself when I was down visiting when he was building a canoe this summer back in 1st of June. He told me at that point they were gonna demolish the building. I said, great, good for you guys. What do you need from us? He told me nothing. So I'm not saying about the money, I'm just saying the easiest thing for us to do from where I sit is just accept the material to landfill site and go back to him and, what's he gonna do? So that's where I'm at, so. Thank you.
It sounds, the way the motion is, it gives,
I know.
gives Mr. Yes, I'm saying you do. Just let me finish. What I'm saying is that it would give Mr. Driver the option. That's my understanding of the motion. Counselor Cooper.
I would like to see kind of covers everything and just say we'll cover tipping fees up to $3,000. That way he uses his 3,000, uses it, if he doesn't, then covers what Councillor Johnson's talking about. It's nice and clear. That's what I like to see in the motion. Just we'll waive tipping fees up to $3,000. So that would, so that makes it nice and clear. There's no questions. It's easy for council to deal with.
Thank you, Counselor Cooper. And anything further to add to that, Counselor Martell?
I'm standing by the motion that's on the table, so if they choose to amend it, they can amend it.
Okay, understood. then basically, if Mr. Driver needs the money to do something other than haul the materials away, then that part, the second part of the motion would take that out of his hands. So we're giving him an option and let him make the decision. We are prepared to pay the 3,000. The motion stands. Tracy, would you put the motion up for us, please? Council approves a grant for the Brule Community Center Association in the amount of $3,000 or waive tipping fee in equivalent amount. Further discussion? Anything else? Are you ready for the question? Question's been called. The vote is up. Would you vote, please? And the vote is now closed. And the motion carries.
Thank you, council.
Thank you, Councillor, and thank you for the discussion. The next item on the agenda is an action item of correspondence from Emma Reed, antimicrobial stewardship pharmacist, emerging and re-emerging infections pharmacy department, Nova Scotia Health. The email is dated October 9, 2025, and it is requesting the illumination of the municipal building for the Go Blue campaign. Ms. Reed requested that the Five Islands Provincial Park Lighthouse be lit in blue lights. However, given the remoteness of the lighthouse, she has received a call asking if she would be comfortable with having this building in blue lights, and she said yes, she would. So the request stands for the blue lights, the support by having blue lights, but the blue lights would be at One Church Street as opposed to the Five Islands Lighthouse. I'm prepared to entertain a motion. Councillor Cooper.
And so move that we illuminate the municipal building.
Thank you. On the appropriate date. It's moved by Councillor Cooper, seconded by Councillor Johnson. That the building at One Church Street be illuminated. Any further discussion? Councillor Cooper?
No, sorry.
Councillor Martel?
Do we own the blue lights? Do we need to purchase?
Yes,
blue
we do.
lights?
Yes, we've purchased blue lights some years ago when we had Operation Blue shortly after, I guess it was shortly after the mass shooting. So we do have, we have illuminated buildings in a number of different colors, but we do have blue lights. Any further questions? Then, you ready for the question? The vote is up and open. And the vote is now closed. And the motion is carried unanimously. Thank you, Council. The next item on the agenda is from an email dated October 20 from Olivia Langell, Program Manager, the Center for Local Prosperity. And it is requesting a letter of support for their funding application to ACOA for the Local Prosperity Festival 2026 in Tatamagouche. And I am prepared to entertain a motion with regards to that request. Councillor Martel.
Thank you. I would like to make a motion that we do write a letter of support for the Local Prosperity Festival that is happening next year in Tatamagouche for their submission of application to ACOA.
And do I have a seconder? Seconded by Deputy Mayor Sanderson. Discussion on the motion. Councillor Cooper.
I'm just looking at their recommended letter. And in the letter, it has our organization, which should be Municipality of Colchester, is actively supporting this important event. We are contributing So usually when people ask for a letter of supports, not asking for, funding or anything like that, it's just that we support what they're doing. So this is kind of doing both sort of thing. So if we did a letter of support, we just do it and leave that paragraph out. Is that what we plan to do, or?
Our CAO, please.
Thank you through the chair. So if there's not specific direction of council other than a letter of support, we would delete that paragraph. Unless there is a direction from council, in which point in time we would then modify that paragraph
I
accordingly.
kind of thought that was the way it worked, but I want to make sure. Thank you.
So, Counselor, are you asking that that paragraph be deleted?
Well, unless we say to put it in, it wouldn't there.
You would be putting it in for a purpose. That was
Yes,
the
that's
reason for your question.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm willing to support, but I'm not.
Okay. Counselor Martell.
Would it be possible, being non-specific, saying we're looking forward to working with them on supporting their festival?
In what way?
In whatever way would come over time through discussion as they plan it.
A volunteer service you're talking about, as opposed to, they haven't asked us for any financial, they haven't produced any application, any budget, any financial request or anything of that nature. So, would it be even necessary to have that paragraph in there other than saying we support?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Further discussion?
Question.
The question has been called. And we're open for voting. And the vote is now closed. And the vote carries unanimously. The motion is now carried. Okay. We move on to our correspondence for information. And you have our monthly reports from our development officer and our building inspector. They're giving us our numbers and all the things that are happening in Colchester County, which is quite significant. We've got all kinds of things going on here. A happening place, and it continues. 424 permits this year to date. And are there any questions on either of those reports? If not, I'm prepared to entertain a motion that we accept for information.
So
Moved by Councillor Kennedy, seconded by Councillor Martell. Any discussion on the motion? Questions been called? And we're open for the vote.
They're asking for a vote. Motion to receive.
Thanks, Dad.
The vote is now
I'm
closed.
still on the technology.
Motion to receive for information has been carried. The next item is a letter from Minister Lord, Department of Municipal Affairs. And the correspondence is dated October 7, 2025, and it concerning changes to a number of acts. Like, quite a few pieces of legislation that they're looking at with regards to a number with regards to the HRM charter. And there's a lot of things here that they also have Municipal Elections Act, Municipal Grant Act amendments, and but a lot to do with Halifax regional municipality. Does anyone have any questions on any of those? I'm sure that we'll find out a lot more information as time goes by. Councillor Cooper.
Thank you, Mayor Blair. Just one question. It's on the section there called elector privacy. Talks about
Oh, yes.
people, you get a list of electors, but they're not there. Their property is there, but they're not there. I'm totally opposed to that. So I'm asking, it says regulations required for proclamation. It says yes. So this means as it's not done yet, they're still looking at it. Is that?
It does not clearly state that the amendment has been received that has received royal assent.
Yeah, so still,
So it sounds like it's more of an approval in-house as opposed to royal assent.
is this something we're supposed to comment on? If we see something like this, we don't like, or?
We can certainly ask questions and ask for clarification on any points that you wish in this overview, but bear in mind that it is an overview.
Right.
Any further comments, Mr. CAO?
Through the chair, so I think at this point, this is the one item where I noticed it doesn't have royal assent mark next to it, so maybe the opportunity for us to ask the question of what other processes does it need, and are there opportunities to comment? So we can follow up with that question, or, you know, as one might say, you could even follow up with your local MLA and ask what they
I
know.
think it's more credits coming from council, yeah.
Yes, but so as a result of that, we'll follow up and ask the question on
Okay.
where it is.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Does everyone agree with that? Anyone disagree? We're good, then that would be the direction.
Mhm.
And we will receive for information, and I'll take a motion to that effect, please. Moved by Councillor Martel, seconded by Councillor Richardson, that we receive this for information, and we will be following up with a question in person, by phone or whatever. All in favor? Wait now, your voting is up. For your vote. It's open.
Debert.
Doesn't matter, it's gonna pass.
Sorry.
Task.
Yeah.
Voting is closed. And unanimous decision to receive for information. Thank you. We now move on to our information items, and the first information item is amendments to the Code of Conduct for elected officials. And I'm going to ask our CAO to address that, please.
Thank you very much. So through the chair to council, folks probably saw this update. It was covered by a number of news outlets. In the last sitting of the House, the province had amended the Code of Conduct legislation. Effectively, the change is that under the Code of Conduct, which we have adopted the provincial Code of Conduct, that it now restricts complaints so that it's a council making a complaint against a councillor. So third parties are no longer making complaints. And part of this is that there was a number of jurisdictions where complaints were coming in following sessions of council and whatnot, where there were citizen complaints against councillors. And so they were beginning to be very expensive. There was a lot of them piling up. All of those continue. So those are still in the queue, and those will all be resolved under the old rules. But essentially, to go forward, is Code of Conduct is designed for councillors to be calling out conduct against councillors. So just point of clarity, you probably saw it in the media anyway.
Okay. Any questions on that piece of information? Councillor Cooper.
Thank you, Mayor Blair. So since I was asked this directly, hey, I'll ask it right here. A person asked me, they said, if I've got a complaint about you. They didn't have one, but they was using me for example.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear, councillor.
It's only your-
Pleased to hear that.
They said, so I'm not allowed to make that anymore? So it says you're only a councillor can make a.
Our CAO, please.
So, you know, from a perspective of an individual who has a concern among council, an individual can always bring an item to council, right? And say, I have an issue.
That's,
But the Code of Conduct itself, as was adopted under the provincial legislation, has now changed. So previously, it was set up so that anybody could make a complaint. Now it is restricted to be only codes of conduct can be a councillor making a complaint against another councillor.
right, yeah, but they can still come to us and
Sure,
complain.
absolutely.
yes.
That's what I told them.
That is
Yeah.
council's purview, as always, to look at the actions of council itself.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, exactly. And bear in mind that we have taken an oath of office and we have parameters that we work within, especially if it relates to things like confidentiality and a whole litany of other things that we have sworn to when we took our oath of office. Councillor Cooper.
Mayor Blair, I'll just ask this of council or anybody else. I got one of these things today. It's a freestyle Libre 2. I don't have diabetes yet, but they want me to improve my lifestyle, so they suggest I see what foods they eat does to me. So I got it and it keeps beeping. Does anybody know how to stop for beeping? They didn't tell me to. So have a cookie.
Pull it out your arm pretty quick.
Well, we'll continue on with Councillor Cooper. Would you turn your microphone off, please? That was a little personal aside in the midst of some of our business. However, we will move on to the next item of information. And thank you for the comments on the code of conduct. The next item is the Lower Truro councillors, please. The next item is on the Lower Truro Spring. And it's an information item. Does anyone have any questions on this? It's an update for you. Seeing none. Thank you, Michelle, for putting that together for us. Appreciate the updates. The next item is the reports from our councillors, and you can see you've been a busy group this last while, and as always, and appreciate all the items and the venues and the information that you're bringing forward to us as a council for what is happening in your lives in the last month, for the work that you are doing on behalf of council. Certainly a busy group, and appreciate it. And does anyone have any questions of anyone and any report? Councillor Martel.
No, I would just like to point out that I've been corresponding with the RCMP in my area, and they've agreed to host a community town hall in Tatamagouche at the fire hall on November 12th at 7 p.m. And I believe, yes, that is in my report. So hopefully if anyone has questions for the RCMP, I know Facebook is a marvelous place where people post lots of things. And I know there's been complaints lately about trucks on roads with gravel pits and speeding in other places and crime. So if anyone in your area has concerns, they're welcome to come on over to Tatamagouche, talk to the RCMP there.
Thank you. We do keep open lines of communication with our staff sergeant here in Bible Hill, but I think it's wonderful to have that type of meeting in the community. That's the exact same day and time as our art selection event. So I was hoping to get over, but we'll see how that goes. Okay. Any questions of any councillors on the reports? Seeing none, thank you very much for that. The next item on the agenda is that we go in camera. And I'll entertain a motion to go in camera. We'll just do this one verbally, Tracy. All in favor? I need a motion. Moved by Councillor Weatherby, seconded by Deputy Mayor Sanderson, that we go in camera. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, contrary-minded nay. Motion is carried. And we'll take a 10-minute break. And thank you, Aidan, for being here. Thank you for both for being here this evening.